Dr. Julie Levy. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We're so glad and happy to honor you for all your work that you've done. Tell me, how did you decide to get into working on the feral cat crisis and solving that problem?
Well, actually first became involved in neutering feral cats when we noticed the stray cats on campus at UC Davis when I was a veterinary student there. Our faculty was very supportive and they gave us sort of free rein at the teaching hospital to start neutering the cats.
Okay, so what did you find when you started this whole project?
Well, what we find is that there's always more cats than you initially think. So we put out a few traps and neuter some cats and put them back, and then you notice that there's still more cats that need to be done. We've also found that there's so many people that are deeply attached to these cats. Even if they can't touch them, they have a very distinct bond and they're very protective of them. So it's very important that we bring them into our programs to help the cats because they're really our biggest resource.
So tell me about the project you had in Florida.
So at the University of Florida, we have Operation Catnip, which is a TNR program for community cats. It's free to the public and our veterinary students are very engaged in that. We hold once a month clinics and we neuter about 250 cats in a single day with the veterinary students and local veterinarians helping us.
Great. And what has been the outcome of that?
I think the most important outcome of our program is that we've sensitized hundreds of future veterinarians to go out and carry our torch around the country, and it's so gratifying when they call in a couple years after graduation saying, "Hey, Dr. Levy, I want to start a feral cat program in the state where I'm working now. What's the first step?" But we've also seen that our community is much more tolerant of community cats now because they recognize that there's a way to control the nuisance and to help the cats at the same time.
Okay, and what are you seeing as far as the entire nation's viewpoint of stray, quote, feral cats?
Right, I think that the movement to take a more humane approach to controlling community cats and enhancing their welfare is becoming very mainstream. It used to be the province of little grassroots groups kind of hiding in the corners doing this on the sly, and now more municipal governments and national humane agencies are really looking at this as one of the major tools we have to benefit cats and the communities they live in.
So what could you say to the people of Los Angeles right now about getting involved and why it's important to do it here in Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities in the nation?
Los Angeles is, much like Florida, we enjoy a very wonderful climate which is very conducive to cat reproduction and survival of a large portion of the kittens that are born. That means we have a tremendous cat overpopulation problem, and that in our shelters many cats lose their lives because there are simply not enough homes for them at this time. In addition, the cats that are never socialized and are feral don't have a chance at most shelters. So this is an opportunity for citizens and cat lovers to get involved and to call, find out how they can help either as a volunteer or a cat caregiver and help bring these cats in to be neutered and care for them afterwards.
And as far as targeted spay-neuter, why is that more effective?
We talk about targeted spay-neuter because we do all have limited resources in terms of time and money and surgical capacity. So it's very important that we target the animals that are most likely to be reproducing or most likely to end up in animal shelters. So we can analyze shelter statistics to determine what the high-risk groups are. And across the nation, it's always cats in general that are most likely to lose their lives in shelters, but feral cats in particular.
Right. And what do you see for 5 years from now in the U.S. with the community cat situation?
I think the trend I'm observing is that community cat management in a way that fosters live release of cats and maintaining their welfare is becoming very mainstream. More and more governments are adopting it as an alternative to culling cats in animal shelters because they're recognizing that's just a never-ending cycle. It also doesn't engage the community in the solution. So we're seeing places like Jacksonville, Florida that are very proactive and have developed TNR programs that are part of their municipal animal code and releasing many more cats alive from their shelters via TNR. Here in Los Angeles, you're very fortunate to have Stray Cat Alliance leading this movement to help cats. It's a wonderful resource that most communities simply don't have.
Love to honor you and thank you for everything
I'm so
you're doing.
proud to be here.